Oh, Sting Sung posted a video talking about the whole thing from the pay-per-view and having to get ready for it and this and that. Apparently he has a YouTube channel where he plays Destiny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you something on Discord.
Gotcha. Got it. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite, and this is kind of like, tonight's episode was, I guess you can almost say, like a season premiere for AEW, a new beginning for AEW. Revolution was the series premiere, or the season finale. They're starting back over with a bunch of fresh new things, and we got a new set. We got new graphics, new logo, all that stuff. So my first question, we got Luke here with us over here. What did you think of the new set for tonight's AEW Dynamite?
I thought it was different, which I know obviously, but I thought the theme song was pretty good. I'll say that. Which
I didn't hear
the theme song guy.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because I didn't hear it. I missed the first minute of the show. I was making dinner, so I didn't hear the theme song. But here's my thing with this stage. I think it's cool. I like the way they have the LED screen around the rim of the tunnels, but when the screens are off, it looks bad. Like when those screens do not have anything on them, like when Brian Cage came out and they were just plain, they don't look good. Because to not be on, they're too thick. So it's just like a white band. Like I could show you what it look. Actually, hold on. Do I have it here with me? Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I can tell you exactly what it looks like. I don't have it. It might be in my other thing. But basically, what it looks like when they're off, two big ass ring lights is what they look like. I was trying to find my ring light that I have, but I don't know exactly where it's at. But yeah, when they're not on, they just look like two random big ass ring lights, and it doesn't look good. But overall, though, I thought it was a good episode of Dynamite. No, I didn't. I'm trying to think. There was nothing
it was a very newsworthy episode.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
which we'll get to there when it happens, but
overall, I thought it was a good episode. Did you like it? What did you think? What were your thoughts? Quick thoughts, real quick.
I mean, I thought it was good. Very newsworthy. The main event was awesome. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
The main event was awesome.
It went from a confusing opening segment to a great main event. I will say that because I was confused during the opening segment. Confused-ish. Also, for everybody watching, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've updated all of our AEW Dynamite graphics, and I will be putting out 2 different tutorials on how I created those graphics here on the PWU Unlimited YouTube channel. I will be doing one on how I created the base and everything in Photoshop, and then I will create a second video on how I animated everything in After Effects. I think they'll be up this weekend if I get enough time. I'll probably be able to do them tomorrow, maybe have them up by Friday, but that is the goal, to have them by the weekend, have those 2 videos posted. Again, one will be teaching you guys how I created the graphics in Photoshop, and then how I animated those graphics in After Effects. Now, I didn't want to go in 100%. Well, I tried to do as close as I could to recreate what AEW made, but then took some liberties myself as well, because the bars on the corners, I'm not a big fan of, but I can show you guys in the video how to do those. It's just same way as how you do the text and stuff in the background. But regardless, I will be putting up 2 videos this week on how to create AEW Dynamite graphics in the style of the new graphics that they have posted. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. If you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, finally, remember to hit the join button to become a channel member. That supports the channel greatly. And remember, if you want to also support the channel, you could do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. That makes sure that your comment, question, or concern gets read live on the air. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're getting the new game, Expeditions of Mud Runner. Maybe you're getting into Season 14 of Rocket League, as Rocket League is in the Aqua Dome. Or maybe you're claiming the free game, Aerial Knights Never Yield. If so, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. I mean, hell, want Lady Gaga and Fortnite Festival? Use the code when you're purchasing her, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Games Store purchases. Heck, if you're one of those people that still plays Fall Guys, you can get Pac-Man or the Ghosts as your character suits for Fall Guys. It actually looks really cool. So again, use code PW Unlimited for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. As far as the show tonight does go, AEW Dynamite. So the show kicks off, and Excalibur welcomes us to the show with all the new colors, and everyone's online going, "Oh, it looks like NXT 2.0 with all the colors and this and that and da-da-da." And I go, I get why people are thinking that, but people must have also forgotten about the original AEW Dynamite graphics. Because to be completely honest, most of this, in a slightly changed way, is just a play on their original graphics. It's just a play off of sort of their original AEW Dynamite designs. New logo and everything, but the whole color explosion stuff, that's been around since the start. They've changed it a couple of times. Actually, this is the fourth set of graphics they've now had, like the fourth different set of graphics. I'm trying to think. They had the original colorful ones, then they switched to the purple, then they had the red and blue, then they kind of changed those up with the variant, but I still count that all as the same because it's the same theme, and then this one. So this is the fourth set of graphics that they have had for AEW Dynamite, but I think it looks cool. I really like it, and like I said, I like that the tunnels are back, but not that the tunnels have big-ass ring lights on them. The show was up with Tony Schiavone in the ring, bringing in a Swerve Strickland. Strickland comes out in his gear. This is a big thing to note because Joe came out in his gear later as well. Came out with Prince Nana dancing on the side of him, and he says that, he had a great match, Revolution, but he was disappointed with the finish, with the way the match ended. Strickland asked if this is Swerve's house without the keys. Strickland didn't get the job done, he said, but Samoa Joe did. He said 2 years ago, he came here at Revolution and signed his contract and stated that he will be a champion. He will do good things, and he will not just be a champion, but AEW World Champion. And he stood there saying, I will have gold around my waist, and I still haven't accomplished that. Maybe he's let the fans down. And I go, oh, if anyone had a question now, Swerve's a babyface. Swerve is a baby. This is a total babyface promo where he goes, I let you guys down. I promised the fans things that I have not delivered on, and my goal is to deliver on those promises. Crowd starts chanting, you deserve it, as Strickland took the microphone from Tony Schiavone, and Tony gave him the ring. He said the Revolution felt different, as people truly rooted for him for the first time. For the fans, Strickland promises to not let them down again, and promises that he's coming after Joe. But then he kind of said something, whether you're the champion or not, I'm still coming for you, Joe. That was kind of weird. So the first weird part here from Swerve. But Joe's music hits, and he comes down to the ring, also in gear. Joe said, and that's very notable that he was in gear, because that made us know some sort of match is about to happen, because Joe usually comes out in the suit. Since he's had the title, he's come out in the suit if he's not coming out for a match. So it's like, I telegraphed it that something was about to happen, but he said, we may be in Swerve's house, but your house exists in my world. Joe decided to let the fans set their eyes on a real world champion. I saw some people on Twitter saying that was a dig at CM Punk. I don't think it was. You think it was? Where he said, I'm the real world champion?
I think that is kind of a dig on CM Punk.
You think it was done intentionally as a dig, or just people were thinking it is?
I think it might have been unintentional. Fans probably think like, oh, it might have been a dig on CM Punk, but
right. Did you see Drew McIntyre made a tweet today about Seth Rollins and quoted CM Punk from an AEW press conference?
I did not see that.
Okay,
no.
Hold on. I need to pull this up on the screen really fast. This Drew McIntyre is another level of not heel, but like, I'm going to get under everybody's skin. I got to pull this up. Hold on. This is freaking great. I got to pause this because there's a video with it that he posted from Raw, but we don't need to see that. So he sent out this tweet, and it's a video of Seth Rollins running to the ring and then him attacking Seth afterwards from Raw. But he said, "What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed blank, dumb blank, fucking dumb fuck like Seth Rollins to go out on national TV and go into business for himself?" That is the exact line that CM Punk made against Hangman Adam Page. He just replaced Hangman Adam Page for Seth Rollins. He's so good right now. Like, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Like when the fans were screaming for him after the show and he starts playing CM Punk's music from his car. Like, oh my God. He is so good right now. Like, this man's winning the world title if he's signed. If he's signed a new contract, he's winning the world title at WrestleMania. No hands, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I think they're keeping that a secret, though, of him re-signing.
Oh, yeah. Because it would give it away.
Well, yeah, like the last time that someone like re-signed before a title match was Kevin Owens, but he didn't win it, but
right,
it made things like different.
Because
remember that was like going into like day one.
Yeah, because that was going into because his contract was up at the end of January, and we learned in December that he had already re-signed. Strickland said that Joe still hasn't defeated him and said we need to fight for this title. He said we can fight for the belt tonight. Heck, you're in gear, I'm in gear. Let's fight right now. So remember that. Swerve just said, let's fight right now for the AEW World title. Undisputed Kingdom then comes out. Adam Cole is there with his crew, Wardlow in the back, and says it's story time with Adam Cole, baby. Cole put over Roderick Strong for winning the International Championship. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven for still being ROH Tag Team Champions. And says something about Samoa Joe being a great world champion. And then he said 6 months from now, fans won't care about Strickland, who will swerve out of the main event. He said no one will care about Strickland when he swerves out of the main event scene. Cole said that the man who will win the AEW title is Wardlow, and he'll bring it home. So Strickland then questions how many failed opportunities Adam Cole has gotten at the championship. Said you look like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, which I laughed pretty hard at that one because I was a huge Inspector Gadget fan as a kid. And then
I remember that.
What, Inspector Gadget?
Is that like the chipmunks?
Oh, hold on. Do we gotta go
like squirrels?
No. Hold on.
I might remember it though.
Oh,
never mind. I was totally wrong.
No, Inspector Gadget. We're pulling Inspector Gadget up on the screen. This is Inspector Gadget.
Yeah,
basically,
I'm looking at it right now.
He was half human, half robot, and his head and hands and whatnot had different like tools that he can use to do things like screwdrivers and pick locks. But then like they also made a movie with Matthew Broderick, and you see right here his hat, out of his hat comes like a helicopter top so he could fly around as well. And then he had his niece Penny with him, helping him out, and their dog. I always forget the dog's name, but yeah, no, Inspector Gadget was great. I watched so much Inspector Gadget growing up. Theme song never out of my head. But Inspector Gadget, woohoo. No, I freaking love Inspector Gadget. They've remade it on Netflix now in 3D animation. I haven't watched the new one, but yeah, no, I love Inspector Gadget. I thought Inspector Gadget was great. I thought the movie with Matthew Broderick was great. The second movie, not as good. Inspector Gadget 2, it had a different actor in it playing Inspector Gadget. I can't remember exactly who, but the first movie that Disney did, oh, was it good? Oh, was it so good? I love Inspector Gadget.
Never ask me any movie or TV questions.
Because you never know.
Remember that last time I told you I never seen Honey I Blew Up the Baby?
Oh my God. Don't get me started on that. So
there's a whole like video about that. Go check it out.
It's on our YouTube as a short. It's on our Instagram and it's on our TikTok. So Swerve then says he's got Britt Baker's number in his pocket, and fans kind of lose their mind over that one. Brain. Thank you, K Ballard. Brain was the dog's name. Yes. Cole then says, how about instead of you guys fighting for the belts, you guys take on Bennett and Taven next week? Strickler said, next week? Why wait till next week? Let's do it right now. And they're like, no, we're going to wait till next week. And then Tony Schiavone stands up and goes, hold on. I've just gotten word from Tony Khan. This match is official and it's happening right now. And I go, okay. So Swerve literally in the matter of 4 minutes or so went from, I'm going to fight for the world title right now to, let's take on these two tag team jabronis from Ring of Honor. What? You've got to be freaking kidding me. He literally went from, I want to fight for the world title against Joe now, right now, to, I'm cool teaming with Joe and facing Bennett and Taven instead. We could do that. No, we can't. You don't make the challenge for the world title now just to be cool with it being changed. And it's not like he's getting a title shot next week. Oh no, that's going to Wardlow. Also, Wardlow becoming number one contender. I'm so happy that they did a number one contenders match, because a lot of times in AEW they don't. They just say, this guy's the top contender. He's got a title shot. But Wardlow earned it. But Wardlow ain't going to win on a random Dynamite. Granted, it's the big business show. It's supposed to be important. There's like going to be 6,000, 7,000 people there. But there's no way Joe's losing the belt on a Dynamite. If he does, cool. I'll be shocked and I'll love the shock factor of it. But I wouldn't bet money on it. So before we get into the match, what is your thoughts on the promo here, them setting up the world title match tonight only to swerve us with Swerve and give us the tag team match instead that literally I felt like went less than 5 minutes, unless I was just, I don't know. This match felt super quick. So what'd you think of the setup for this tag match?
I thought the setup for the tag match was kind of weird. Like, we did not need that at all. Like, I hate when they make the heels and the babyface like team up to do like tag matches. I hate that. Like, I know we've seen it a few times in WWE. Like, what was it like Bianca and Sasha Banks,
right? Or back in the day when they were feuding over the U.S. title, Matt Hardy and MVP. But they just literally did this. What was it, last week? No, 2 weeks ago, when they did the fake Swerve injury or the fake Hangman injury, when it was Swerve, Cage, and Joe in that 6-man tag. So it's like, but here's my question. Is Joe a heel? Because the fans don't treat him like a heel.
I think he's supposed to be the heel, but like the fans kind of like treat him as a babyface because they love Joe.
Yeah, like Joe comes out and he's immediately Joe. So match go for it.
Well, I mean, when he was in WWE, fans treated him like a babyface, even though he was a heel.
True.
I mean, so different. Like, remember when, like for example, like Bobby Lashley, he was supposed to be a heel right now, but the fans basically turned him into a babyface because they refused to boo him.
Well, I think he was originally, they were supposed to be a heel group, but now that they have them against the Final Testament, they're the babyfaces now. So they're supposed to be cheered now against Final Testament.
Well, yeah, but before that,
well,
they were supposed to be heels.
Right, but that's because everyone was confused on, are they really turning the Street Profits heel or not? And so they just basically was like, we're just going to cheer them. It's the Street Profits. I think that was more of it was they were confused on if the Street Profits were actually going heel.
I mean, everyone kind of knew that.
Right.
Like, the Street Profits were kind of heels, though, when they were feuding with the LWO.
True. As far as the match, I don't really think there's much to this match. I didn't really get much of notes. I thought this match was really quick and unneeded. Joe went right after Bennett and Taven, sidestepped a Taven dropkick as he took out his partner, or his own partner, by accident. Joe then hit his signature senton for a 2. Joe mocks Strickland, allowing Bennett and Taven to attack and keep Joe grounded through a commercial break. Strickland made the hot tag and ran wild, wiping out Taven with a pump kick on the apron and a rolling flatliner on Bennett before delivering a brainbuster. Taven then cut off Swerve's stomp as he tried a superplex, but he was sent to the floor, and Strickland hit a stomp on Bennett, who was waiting in the same spot forever. Taven then ate the house call, JML driver, and there we go. Also, he hit the JML driver, and if I heard this correctly, it sounded like Excalibur called that move the big pressure. He said, "Oh," or maybe he said something about big pressure for the win. I'm like, what? So was he calling Swerve big pressure, or was he calling the move big pressure?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But yeah, Swerve and Joe pick up the win. They then tell us that Wardlow will face Joe next week in Boston for the AEW World Championship. And it's like, oh, okay. Because post-match, Wardlow walked out on stage. Joe then choked out Strickland from behind in the ring and just stared down Joe with a boot on an unconscious Swerve. They really made Swerve look bad tonight, in my opinion. Swerve out here crying, "I let the fans down." Then him going from, "I'm going to fight you for the title right now." Oh, never mind, tag match. And then he just gets choked out. And literally, Joe is standing on him at the end of this. So, if you wanted to make Swerve this big babyface we're supposed to love, how you gonna love this guy? He needs a redemption story, and he needs it bad before that Dynasty show, because I think he wins the title of Dynasty, but they need to build him back up before that.
I don't know. I feel like Swerve is much better off as a heel, though. Don't you agree?
So I've seen some of his stuff from the indies when he works as like a super babyface, and he's amazing. When he's like a super babyface, like a big time, like when he's not just, oh, I'm a babyface, but when he's acting like the babyface everyone's supposed to love, he's actually really, really good. Yes, he's a great heel, but I think he can make an even better babyface.
I know when he was in Hit Row, like he was a pretty good heel in my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
then before that,
well, I know Hit Row at times were supposed to be tweeners. They're supposed to be like the cool, we don't follow the rules baby faces at times.
I mean, I know most of his WWE run he was a babyface, but
yeah, before Hit Row, he was babyface for sure. And then like right before Hit Row, what was it, like that 4 or 5 months when he like really changed up his demeanor and he was wearing the long trench coat looking thing. So I like Swerve. I think Swerve's great, and I just hope that if he is winning that championship in St. Louis at Dynasty, I just hope that he redeems himself and they build him back up. Because tonight, they did not make him look like a guy that I want to see win that world title.
Wait, hang on. Where's Dynasty at?
St. Louis.
Oh, geez, I might go to that.
Tickets go on sale Friday. General admission, I think this Friday. Okay, right now I got the graphic. Tickets for Dynasty go on sale.
Dude, I could totally go to that.
Okay, right now, hold on.
Yeah, that's a Sunday.
Yeah,
I can go to that.
Sunday, May 21st. But where is? I had the graphic. No, I guess I don't have it saved anymore. I thought I did, but I don't. But yeah, so that show will be taking place in St. Louis. That wasn't the original plan. Now, what I had heard, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but I was told that the original plan was for it to be Denver. But then they changed it because the original plan for Revolution was to be St. Louis.
Oh, then, what? Come on.
So here's what I have heard. The original plan was for Revolution to be in St. Louis. Then when Sting said, I want Revolution to be my last show, that's when Tony said, light bulb, Greensboro. Your last,
Sting.
Your last show
Screw
in Greensboro.
You.
And so then they moved. So then apparently they moved Dynasty to St. Louis. But do you know why Dynasty should have been in Denver? You probably don't. Because the old show from the 1980s, Dynasty, was based out of Denver, Colorado. It was
that would have made a lot more sense.
A wealthy family based out of Denver. It was an old Aaron Spelling show. But
They
yeah,
could have. I don't know why Sting could have waited though. Unless he just really wanted to retire.
Sting wanted to be retired by the beginning of March. But yeah, that's the word that's been going around this week. That Revolution was really supposed to be in St. Louis, and Dynasty is now in St. Louis because they pulled the show from the building and was like, no, we'll do a make good. We'll give you another pay-per-view.
I wonder what kind of matches we could have on Dynasty. I know it's a long ways away, but
I'm pretty sure we're going to get Swerve and Joe for the belt.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
Then
but
the finals of the tag team tournament, probably.
I wonder what the finals will probably be BCC versus FTR, in my opinion.
I think so. With FTR picking up the win because BCC has beaten them.
The Final Four should be.
Who?
Do you know what the Final Four should be? Final Four should be FTR versus Young Bucks and BCC versus maybe like a team from Japan, maybe.
See, that's the one thing I want to know. Is this just going to be all straight AEW and ROH wrestlers, or are we going to get people from outside the company? Because, Tony loves bringing out those outside people for big-time things like this. So I could see some CMLL guys maybe. I could see maybe 2 New Japan teams, maybe 1 New Japan team. I could see them branching out. And they didn't really give us much context on what the tournament's going to be tonight. They did that video package where he's like, I want this to have multiple brackets, but unless I didn't fully pay enough attention, I didn't hear what the multiple brackets are going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
So as we move forward, Renee Paquette's backstage. He's with Hook and asks him about his upcoming match with Brian Cage tonight. Jericho then immediately interrupts and starts talking about his first match in ECW against his father, which was Taz. Jericho always felt like he had a connection with Taz, and after Hook dropped him on his head this past weekend at Revolution, well, he feels like he has a connection with Hook as well. And my first thought here was, oh, Sammy's suspended, so Jericho needs another young guy to latch on to. Gotcha. Jericho said maybe Hook is the real deal and gave him a fist bump. So he endorsed Hook. We then look back at the actions of Hangman Adam Page at the pay-per-view, attacking 2 referees. We go backstage to a smiling Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, who said they have 2 major announcements. And before Nick can say anything, Matt cut him off and goes, wait, brother, why don't we make these announcements live in front of the crowd in the ring later tonight? And then it cuts. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why do we need this 2-minute segment for? You didn't need to do this. You could have just had him come out later. Whatever. Then this leads to Hook versus Brian Cage in an FTW title match with FTW rules. It was fun, but it felt kind of generic when it comes to a hardcore match. It didn't feel like it was anything super special or anything. It just felt like a generic hardcore match with weapons. Cage avoided a T-bone suplex early and connected with the German suplex where he just threw Hook over his head like he was nothing. With FTW rules in place, Cage grabbed a steel chair, got in the ring, and wedged it in the corner. But Hook then grabbed a fire extinguisher and sprayed it all in the face of Brian Cage before a trash can lid shot. Actually, multiple trash can lid shots. Despite being blinded by the fire extinguisher, Cage grabbed Hook and launched him into the ring steps, but then missed a charge and went into the ring steps himself. Hook then leapt off the steps, but Cage turned it into a power slam. Hook sidestepped a charging Cage, who ran through the barricade, taking things to a picture-in-picture break. Cage regained control during the break, setting up the guardrails in front of the ring corner as Hook countered an F5 into a DDT onto a chair. Hook dodged a discus lariat and hit a leaping clothesline and a T-bone suplex before delivering another one on the guardrail for a 2. Cage slid out of the crossface punches and connected with the Cazadora neckbreaker. Cage delivered a powerbomb into an F5 on the chair, but an arrogant cover only got him a 2. Cage dumped a bag of tacks out, but Hook floated over a drill claw into a red rum, but Cage backed Hook into the wedge chair in the corner. There was multiple kendo shots that led to a T-bone suplex onto the tacks as Hook delivered a crossface shot and then sank in the red rum. Cage got up and fell back on the tacks, but Hook didn't let go, and Cage never tapped, but eventually passed out. I think AEW's been doing too much of this. Our guys don't tap out, they pass out. So what is this supposed to be? Showing that our guys are tough, they'll never quit. You have to make them quit. You have to make them pass out. This is like the fourth week in a row, maybe third, that we've seen somebody pass out due to the choke and not actually tap. We've got it with Cage tonight. We got it last week in the FTR Eddie Kingston 6-man, and we've got it with Eddie Kingston before that as well. So I think they're overdoing the choke with the guy passing out instead of tapping out. But what did you think of this FTW title match?
I feel really bad for Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Which I know that's the way he's been for a while now, but
they always try to tell us Cage is a major player. He's a big deal guy, and then he always loses. Always.
Like, he should not be losing to Hook. Like, I can tell you that right now.
Right? Like, when this match started and he threw Hook over his head with that belly to belly so easily, I'm like, put the title back on this man. Like, he needs
the
it.
title is what ruined him in the first place, though.
True. I mean, has that title done good for anybody?
I mean, no, but like, he was the first guy that held it.
Right. Post-match, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona come out and attack Hook, only for Chris Jericho to run out and make the save with Floyd the Bat. Okay, so what are we going to get? Jericho and Hook versus Cage and Leona, or Cage and Khan? Or do they add one more person to Jericho and Hook?
Hey. Probably just add one more person. They'd have to.
Yeah. I don't know
who would.
I don't know who, because I would say Sammy, but Sammy's what's it called? Sammy's suspended. Okay, Vicious says at least Hangman tapped at Revolution. Yes, and there's a story, dumb story, but there's a story to that he may have only tapped so the match ends and Swerve doesn't win. I still think that story's stupid. Why would you lose a match for a championship where it's like you'd rather lose and another guy not win than you actually win the title? I don't know. That whole thing is annoying. But as far as the making people pass out instead of tapping out, I feel like it's starting to get a little overdone in AEW.
Are you a big fan of whenever like they're doing like a sleeper on someone and the ref goes like 1,
when
2,
when they drop the arm, or when they just do the count?
When they hold the arm and they drop it and they're like 1.
Oh, well, yeah, I like that because it's supposed to be the same as a 3 count. If your arm drops 3 times, and we've known this since like the 80s, if not before, it's been a thing. If your arm drops 3 times, 1, 2, 3, that means you're passed out. You're done. You're a goner. But it's just weird in AEW because they sometimes do the arm and sometimes the ref will just call it. Like, we need consistency here. We got footage of Tony Khan at Revolution saying that the tag team titles are going to be vacated and a tournament will be coming to crown new champions. The tournament will be taking place on TNT and TBS, their own bracket madness. And I'm like, oh, this guy's just trying to get in on freaking March Madness. Footage of previous tag team champions are shown and no other details were given. Basically, they just said tournament matches will be on Collision and Dynamite, maybe Rampage, and the tournament will start soon. Okay. Sure. So Renee Paquette's backstage with Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta. She asked Cassidy what's next following the loss of the International Championship. Cassidy said that he will continue to try to fill his backpack up with gold, as Chuck Taylor says, hey, it's time for best friends to win tag titles. Now, I'm not cleared. My ankle's still messed up. Trent, Orange, you two should enter the tournament, and you two could win the whole damn thing. He then says, and as a warm-up match, you guys have a tag match set for this Friday on Rampage. I don't think they told us who that's going to be against. Did they?
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I didn't hear it at all. So then we move forward. We got a squash for Kill Switch. Takes on Matt Menard. Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Mother Wayne were out on commentary. Well, Christian was on commentary. The other two were with him. The ribs of Menard were all taped up from being chokeslammed through chairs last week by Killswitch. Menard attacked at the bell, biting and punching at Killswitch, who fell to his knees at one point after 2 clotheslines, but caught Menard with a chokeslam on a 3rd try. Menard then spat in his face, and I'm like, oh, you spat on his mask. What is that going to do to him? It's not like you're spitting in his actual face. Anyways, Killswitch then hit a headbutt and a extinction lariat to the neck. Killswitch hit a running extinction and got the victory. Afterwards, Daniel Garcia would run out to attack Killswitch, only for Nick Wayne to jump in the ring. Killswitch and Nick Wayne double teamed on him, and there we go. Christian then kept yelling, "That's my son! That's my son Nick in there!" Patriarchy then left Garcia laying as they headed up the ramp. But then, as they were heading up the ramp, Nick Wayne and Killswitch were attacked by Adam Copeland. Killswitch was taken out with a chair shot. Nick Wayne was put in a rear naked choke. He then stared down Christian as Christian ran away, and Mother Wayne was behind him yelling until finally she low blowed him, and Christian ran out of the arena, jumped in an SUV, sped off, and then Adam Copeland said, "Christian, it's time to end this. Cope Cage 3, where it all began. Toronto, March 20th for the TNT title in an I Quit match." And then immediately we go to commentary, and Excalibur goes, "I'm getting word from Tony Khan. That match isn't just a challenge. It's official. That match will be taking place at the pay-per-view." And Tony Schiavone goes, "Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing. That match will be taking place." And Excalibur goes, "Is there an echo in here, Schiavone?" And Tony goes, "Yes, Excalibur, there's an echo." Very awkward and weird, but yeah. TNT title will be on the line March 20th in an I Quit match as Adam Copeland challenges Christian Cage. You think Cope wins the belt?
You know what I think will happen?
Oh no, what?
I think Copeland wins, and then I think what's going to happen is we're officially going to see Christian Cage versus Killswitch after that, because he's going to blame Killswitch for the reason why he lost.
Well, he's going to have to say, "I quit." So how can you blame somebody else if you say "I quit," though?
Probably going to say you weren't there when.
Oh, okay.
I
I can
need
see
you
that.
most.
Okay. There you go. I like that. Saying he didn't help enough. Okay. So then we go backstage. Now, before this, all of the interviews that Renee Paquette had been doing backstage were like in different areas of the building. But then they go to this one area, which is set up as the interview spot. And before this, AEW always had the big screens behind the interviewers, and they had all the graphics for whatever show we were on. Didn't have that tonight. I don't know if this is a change going forward or they just couldn't set that up tonight. But basically all they had was a curtain and some lights going up the curtain, shining up on the curtains. This looked not good at all. Like, this looked rinky-dink. Renee Paquette was there with Kyle O'Reilly. She asked about being away for almost 2 years and what that felt like. O'Reilly said that he hated to admit this, but at one point he thought he'd never return. But that ovation last Sunday, it felt great. O'Reilly said that he has nothing but love for the Undisputed Kingdom, but having a second chance, he feels like he needs to do his own thing and take his own path. So what that means, I don't know. AEW did a lot tonight where we have so many questions, and I think in a good way, where we have all these questions that now we need to come back next week to see if we get answers for. But what do you think of Kyle O'Reilly being back and not wanting to be, not hating them, but not wanting to be part of Undisputed Kingdom?
Honestly, I'm cool with it. I really am. Because, like, it's when, before, like, when he returned, a lot of people thought, like, oh, once he returns, he's going to be part of the Undisputed Kingdom, which it would have made it too obvious. But I'm honestly happy they're going to make him his own guy for a little bit.
I'm just happy he's doing this instead of being against them. I like that he's doing his own thing, and it's not like, oh, well, they're all my friends, but I don't like what they've become, so I'm going to fight them. No, I wouldn't have wanted that. So I like that, like you said, he's doing his own thing.
Like build him up for a little bit, and like, what if they try to like recruit him for a little bit?
Oh, I can see multiple recruitment attempts for sure.
Or maybe Adam Cole's just like, Cal's my best friend. Even though we want him here, just let him do his own thing. But that sounds very babyface-ish, though.
Well, you can blur those lines because you know how close Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are in real life. So you can blur those lines a little bit with that, where they're like, Roddy keeps trying to recruit him, and eventually Adam goes, hey, Roddy, if Kyle needs to do his own thing, let him do his own thing for now. Like, I could see something like that.
Like, for this tournament, it would have been like really cool to see Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong in the tournament because they were former NXT tag champs.
True. What if, and I doubt they do because he's working with MLW, what if they get Bobby Fish for Kyle O'Reilly?
Like, Bobby Fish is signed with MLW?
I know I don't know if he's signed, but I know he's working with MLW. Okay, right now, I don't know if he's signed with them, but I know that he's doing stuff with them. Let me see. Did he sign? Yeah, I don't know if he's signed, but he was at their last big show, the Imitation Games, and he said in an interview with Fightful, he's excited to do things in the future with the young roster that MLW has. Excuse me.
I mean, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I'd at least, like, if I was AEW, at least try to bring him back for at most a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't sign him to like a multi-year contract, but at least bring him back for a year.
Right.
Because I'm sure Tony Khan probably wants to use Kyle O'Reilly as a singles guy more. Because I know before Kyle O'Reilly got hurt, he used him a lot as a singles guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not just the tag team guy. He's a, two-time Ring of Honor world champion, I think. I know at least one.
Kyle O'Reilly, he's a pretty good singles wrestler, though.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Let me see. How many times has he won the ROH World Championship? He has won it right now.
I think it was twice.
Because I know once, right before he went to WWE, because they had the match with him and Adam Cole for the title at Wrestle Kingdom. But Ring of Honor, one-time world champion. So just
he's only one time?
Yeah, just the one time when he took the title from Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole got the title right back. And then everyone was expecting him to go to WWE, and they waited to bring him into WWE until Adam Cole's contract was up, and then they brought them all in together.
Well, and also WWE got caught for contract tampering with Kyle O'Reilly.
True. They talked to him like less than a month before his deal was up, or right around a month before. And so they kind of were just like, yep, we're going to wait a little bit.
Well, didn't they have to, though?
Well, not with him, because his contract was up at the beginning of the year, that year. But they talked to him in December. They started talks with him in December, which meant that they were talking to him before his contract was up. That was the whole issue. And so they were like, oh, people say we're contract tampering. We're just going to wait. We can't get Adam Cole till April anyways. Let's just wait. And so they waited on all of them.
Yeah, they waited on like 9 months to bring Kyle O'Reilly in.
No, I don't think it was 9. I think it was more like 5 or 6, because they came in, was it?
I know him and
August?
Bobby Fish started doing a singles match before Adam Cole came in.
Right. But they were all together that August. Was it Brooklyn when they attacked McIntyre, if I'm thinking correctly?
Yeah, it was Brooklyn. But
yeah.
But before Brooklyn, they worked a singles match where they both lost to Aleister Black, I think.
That I do not remember.
I know Kyle O'Reilly for sure. Both of them worked a singles match. They had their own like entrance theme as well.
There we go. Kyle O'Reilly made his debut for the NXT brand on July 12th, 2017, where the match aired on August 2nd, and he lost to Aleister Black. And then following that at NXT TakeOver 3, O'Reilly, along with Fish and Adam Cole, attacked Sanity. No. O'Reilly attacked with Bobby Fish, attacked Sanity after they had just won the tag team championships. And then later that night, with Adam Cole, attacked Drew McIntyre. So, yeah. He did have one match prior against Aleister Black.
I know Bobby Fish did as well.
Yeah, the Black matches, I don't remember those, but cool. I just remember them coming in at Brooklyn with Adam.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone knows that.
We got an excellent video recapping Revolution and showing Sting's final match. And then we get this goddamn Young Bucks segment. Like, oh my God, this segment.
This was stupid. This was so dumb.
Fans are not happy at the inclusion of Kazuchika Okada. So, Tony Schiavone told the Bucks that there was a great entrance they just made after getting their asses whooped at Revolution. Matthew demands Schiavone leave and screams that they've moved past Revolution and that Sting cheated. Nicholas said that regardless of the match results, they retired Sting forever, and now they want the AEW Tag Team titles, and they're going to get them in the tournament. Matthew said they have two big announcements, and they all involve, well, friends. They're going to prove that, well, they don't have favoritism in the back. They are executives, and they will do what they have to do as executives. First off, Adam Hangman Page put his hands on two officials at the pay-per-view, and he crossed the line. With that, unfortunately, they have suspended him indefinitely, and here's the key thing to listen to, from the Elite. They did not say he's suspended from AEW. They said he is suspended from the Elite without pay. So, yeah. He's suspended from the Elite, but they didn't say he's suspended from All Elite Wrestling. Yet, this is a thing to keep him off television because he does need some time off. Then they...
Like, what was the reason for that?
Family issues. Personal family issues. That's all we know. Then they say we have to turn our attention to Kenny Omega. They say Kenny Omega has disappeared, basically off the face of the earth, or something like that. And he has missed all of his appearances and has not made his dates with no real reason given. Matthew then says, and I hate to do it, but Ken, you're fired from the Elite. And then he apologizes, saying, oh, well, he's probably going to find out watching this on TV. Actually, I know because we haven't told him yet. So I know that's a jab at something, but I don't know what. I remember it might be a Vince McMahon thing where he was like, you're going to find out, like someone found something out that Vince announced on I don't remember exactly, but that's a shot at something or somebody. And so before they can make their next announcement, Eddie Kingston's music would come out. So Eddie Kingston came out and was like, you said if I talk bad about you, you're going to have to find me. Well, find me right now. He's like, you might as well do it now, bitch. And he like threw something, maybe like a toothpick or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but he threw something at Nicholas. Matthew tried to calm everything down. He tried to play buddy-buddy with Eddie Kingston, saying, hey, let's not air our grievances in public. Let's take this to the back and have a sit-down, personal, just you and us conversation. And then Nicholas tried to put his hands on Eddie Kingston, and Kingston was like, screw this, and he throws fists. He knocks down Nicholas. They start blowing. He gets low blowed. They set him up for the EVP trigger, and the coins drop. We hear the music of Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada comes out to the ring, and soon as he had that suit on, I said, woo, fuck. He's joining the Young Bucks. As soon as he had the suit on, I knew where this was going. He got in the ring and made it look like he was going to save Eddie Kingston. The two were standing side by side before he grabbed Eddie and dropped him with the Rainmaker clothesline. Nicholas has said, our second announcement is that the newest member of the Elite is Kazuchika Okada, who signaled to a downed Eddie Kingston. He's like, I'm coming for you. I want the belt, Continental Crown. The Bucks and Okada then pose with the handshake, all three of them together in the ring. They then pose again on the top of the stage. And yeah, Okada is not only all Elite, but Okada is now a heel in the Elite. And boy, howdy, are fans not happy. Like, not at all. Even Shinsuke Nakamura is not happy about this. He went on Threads and posted something in Japanese that translates to English of really question mark. So what do you think of this whole segment and Okada now being part of the Elite with the Young Bucks, or Matthew and Nicholas?
I mean, I know what it's gonna lead to.
Oh yeah, an
Like,
Omega
I'm just-
Okada match.
but do we really need to see that match again? Like,
Yes and no, because most of the American fans probably haven't seen the other ones.
right, but like, well, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of the American fans have kept up with the Elite though during their time in Japan, so I feel like they've had to have seen his matches with Okada.
Yeah, the hardcore fans, but not the casual fans that have only come to AEW since they've been on. Like, how many of the casual? Oh, I watch most Wednesdays, maybe not even every Wednesday, but I maybe watch most Wednesdays. AEW fans. If you have those fans, which is probably half of the television audience, you may not have seen the Okada Omega stuff, because I don't think every fan is going back and watching Omega's Japan stuff. Because I mean, it's not like just super readily available. You need to go pay for New Japan World and whatnot.
Right.
So
Someone in the YouTube chat said, I think it was money. I don't think so. I mean, maybe I think it might have been just the lighter schedule, if I'm being completely honest.
you mean for why he signed with AEW? I don't care that he signed with AEW. Like, cool, bring him to AEW and let's have some great matches. But putting him with the Elite and making him a heel right off the bat is so fucking stupid. He is the guy that everyone is going to want to cheer. He is the guy that is going to draw the house. Now, Will Ospreay's probably going to be the bigger baby face because he speaks English, and he's going to interact better with the crowds and stuff. But I think Okada could be that number 2 guy on the babyface side, but not anymore.
I'm pretty sure Okada speaks English fluently.
Not that well. At least not.
You probably just don't hear it as much because, when he was in New Japan, he always spoke Japanese.
I mean, I could say, and this was 2017 when I was backstage at a New Japan show when they were doing. So what New Japan likes to do, at least when they were running shows with Access and we would be there as media, as soon as a match would end, at least the winner of that match would then go to the back and do interviews with the media. And Okada's were always with the translator. So I don't know if since 2017, 2018, he's gotten better at English, but I haven't heard him talk a lot in English at all.
Okay, I looked it up. He said he's not fluent in English. He can speak some, but he's not fluent.
And we know that.
And he admitted that it was rough at times because he didn't have many people to communicate with.
Yeah, we knew that he could say things in English and he could fully understand it, but he's not fluent in speaking it. So, but yeah, I think this is a bad move. You could agree with me or not. It's up to your opinion. I mean, not everybody has to have the same opinion, but it looks like the majority, at least on Twitter, is not happy.
I wonder what was the reason why he went to AEW, though.
Oh, a number of reasons, probably. I don't know why. Maybe we'll find out soon. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
I mean, I'm sure AEW was probably the first to reach out to him, though, because I'm sure
I don't think so. I think it could have been like both around the same time. So what Meltzer had recently stated, the way Meltzer said it, like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, was that Tony may have offered more money. I think it was WWE knew how much they wanted him for and was like, this is what we're going to offer you. We're not going to offer any more. And if you want to take their offer, take their offer. That's the way Meltzer made it seem a couple weeks ago. It could have been that Tony Khan just wanted to throw around more money. It's what he did with Mercedes. At first, when they negotiated, he didn't offer Mercedes enough money. Then Mercedes went and negotiated with WWE, and they said, we're not paying you more than X. And so she said, well, I'm not signing for less than X. And she went back to Tony Khan. Tony Khan apparently seems like gave her what she wanted, or at least enough of what she wanted. So.
I mean, that's different, though. I would give Mercedes what was rumored what she wanted, though.
I'm gonna say right now, Mercedes ain't gonna be that. And I've said this for the last couple of weeks. Mercedes ain't gonna be a game changer. I don't think Mercedes Moné is not a game changer and not worth. Now, what someone is worth is up to interpretation and what you think and what they think and this and that. The rumor was she wanted Charlotte Flair money. I don't think she deserves Charlotte Flair money yet because of the way she's acted in the past. She's been proven that she's got a great fan base and that people can really get behind her. But has she been proven as a 100% committed team player that is worthy of the big paydays. Not to me. Not when you don't get your way and whine about it, walk out and cry multiple times.
Right.
So until she can prove that she's 100% a game player and will do what she's told and not be like, I don't like that, I ain't doing it, we'll see. Tony's the kind of guy that, and this is just from what we've heard, will roll over for her and be like, oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, well, what would you like to do instead? Because I think it was Andrew Zarian was talking yesterday on the We're Live Pal with Garrett Gonzalez podcast. And I forget who he was talking about, but he was talking about somebody in AEW that, no, it wasn't. Well, he did it, but Sean Ross Sappos talked about it today, where they were asked about the rumors that things get changed a lot in AEW last minute. And he's like, well, there's a couple things to that. A, Tony just doesn't want plans to get spoiled and leaked. But B, there are guys that they'll be told what they're going to do and be like, that doesn't work for me. And then they have to change things around. There's too much of that in AEW where guys feel like they have the right to say, oh, that's what you want me to do? No, I'm not doing it. That's an issue.
I mean, that's how Tony Khan is, though. He doesn't want to like piss off wrestlers, so like they'll try to like suck up to them and just give them what they want.
For the most part, yes. And that's, again, an issue. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with Mercedes. He's going to one day tell her she's going to do something she doesn't want to do. And then he's just going to, instead of her being like, I'm going to walk out, he's like, you can have whatever you want. What do you want to do? Okay, we'll change everything. So, we'll see.
Well, Swerve said that he didn't want to go back to WWE because he didn't want to have people telling him what to do.
It was that, and he felt like, so he's done a couple interviews where he talked about that, and one was that he doesn't like to be scripted. He doesn't like people writing for him that don't understand him, is one of the things that he had said. Which, I mean, I get it to a point. But regardless, Okada is a heel. He's in the elite, and boy, are people pissed.
Hang on. Someone said that Okada is also close with the Young Bucks. Probably been a reason why he went there.
Well, yeah, we've known for years, especially with segments on being the elite, him and Nick are kind of close. They play jokes on each other and stuff backstage in New Japan shows, where they used to, at least. They would like prank each other and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he is close with the Young Bucks for sure. That could have played a factor into it, but I think it could have also been that AEW offered him more of what he wanted.
But it's also kind of weird that he went to AEW because he said that I plan to leave New Japan, never come back, and AEW, they had that working relationship with New Japan, which made it kind of weird.
Nope, never come back as a signed official contracted talent, though.
No, but like he said, never come back, though. He has to be specific, though, kind of.
True. Well, then maybe he doesn't. Maybe the only time he ever works with New Japan guys is Forbidden Door in AEW. Maybe he doesn't go work another match in Japan. So I don't know. But I get what you're saying. And yeah, maybe the only time we ever see him and Ishii or him and Finley or him and Naito again. Yeah, maybe the only time we ever see that again is on a Forbidden Door. Or when they just randomly say, hey, this New Japan guy's going to come work AEW for a month or something. I don't know. People say stuff all the times that
we'll see
changes up. You know, people say all the time, I'm never going to go back here. I'm never going to do this again. And then they end up doing it. Look at CM Punk. So we had Chris Statlander versus Riho. This was fun for the short amount of time that it got. Statlander showed off her strength early, but Riho set it up. I wrote this weird. Okay. Statlander showed off her strength early, but Riho got the advantage with her speed. Statlander dodged a tiger feint kick and dropped Riho, who bridged out of a pin. Statlander then taken a bear hug into a vertical suplex. Riho then battled out of the corner, but tried a crossbody and was easily caught with a gorilla press into a commercial. Riho fought her way back into things with a double stomp to the back and a low drop kick. Riho hit an impressive bridge out of a Northern Lights suplex and got a 2 off of it. At one point, Statlander countered a charging knee into a powerbomb stack for a close near fall. Stokely Hathaway then placed a chain in the ring and took the referee as Statlander took the chain and threw it away. She didn't want to cheat. Riho then tried to go for a Kazuchika, but Statlander countered into a wheelbarrow German suplex. Statlander then tried again, but Riho countered into a roll-up for the flash out of nowhere pin. That said, the Statlander should have used the chain. And if she did, she probably would have won. What do you think of this match between Riho and Chris Statlander?
I mean, I thought it was all right. They really got Chris Statlander losing a lot.
Yeah, Riho's going to face also. I mean, we'll skip to it here we'll just skip to it here. They set up Riho and Willow for Collision, so we're going to do that match on Saturday. Riho versus Willow, and Willow also said that once she beats Riho, she's got her eyes set on Julia Hart and the TBS champion because she wants to be the face of TBS. You think Willow beats Julia Hart?
Nah. I don't know who beats Julia Hart, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Willow supposed to be a heel though? I haven't really kept up with Dynamite a whole lot. But...
No. So what the storyline right now with Willow, Statlander, and Stokely is that Willow and Statlander are baby faces. Stokely is their heel manager that keeps trying to get them to cheat, but they then keep telling him, "We're not going to cheat. We're not going to cheat." That's the whole storyline right now. He tries to cheat for them and help them and get them to cheat, but they don't want to cheat because they're the baby faces and he's the heel. It's weird.
They really got a lot of random stuff for Stokely right now.
That's no different than Swerve and Prince Nana. Swerve's trying to be a baby face and Prince Nana's like, "Use my crown to cheat," and he's like, "No, I don't want the crown." So
yeah, but like for Stokely though, I mean, they really got a lot of random stuff for him.
Not anymore, really. He's really only just doing, unless I haven't been keeping up with Ring of Honor, he's only doing the stuff with Willow and Stat right now. He was doing a lot more, but
more when he first debuted though,
yeah,
they kept having him jump ship from like different people.
I mean, at one point they had him and Jerry Lynn as the authority figures of Ring of Honor. Now I don't watch Ring of Honor, so I don't know if they are still or not, but it's like he was the heel authority figure and Jerry Lynn was supposed to be the babyface authority figure. I don't know.
No, but like when he first signed with AEW, like they had him like managed like so many people. He kept jumping ship. Like started out with Jade Cargill, then what was it after that? The Firm.
Yep.
Which that didn't last long.
Nope.
Then he went to Ring of Honor. Now he's managing Willow and Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
Like this dude's only been signed to AEW for like a year now, a year and a half.
I think it's almost 2. Didn't he sign around the same time as Swerve?
I don't think so.
I can tell you right now. Stokely.
Swerve signed during
it was 2 years ago.
Revolution.
It was 2 years ago, like this week. But Stokely signed.
He signed like
2022.
Double or Nothing.
Yep, Double or Nothing 2022. So it was literally, it's always coming up on almost his 2 year mark.
Yeah, him and Swerve signed in the same year, but it was like a few months after Swerve signed, I believe.
Yeah. We go to the back of
like, I know Stokely, he like signed like the day that his 90-day, that's 30-day no compete clause expired.
He wanted out of WWE. Like it was known he didn't want to be there anymore because he didn't like the way he was being used.
Well, yeah, that was like he basically said, "I'll stick around for the rest of my deal, but I don't plan on re-signing."
Because at one point, was it him and Dakota Kai like asked out of their deals and they told him no or something like that? And so then he's like, "All right, I'll stick around until you guys let me out."
I don't think they both asked out. It was mainly just them saying like, "We'll stick around, but we don't plan on re-signing." WWE's like, "Well, if you don't want to stay, then we'll just let you go."
Yeah.
That was like around the time where WWE would literally just give anyone their release.
Kinda. So moving forward, Renee Paquette's in the back with Toni Storm, the AEW Women's World Champion. She said it's award season, and this Friday on Rampage, she'll present the first ever Tony Awards. And they go, "Oh, you guys are going to get sued." But it's Tony with an I, not Tony with a Y. Anyways, Storm presented Mariah May with her very first AEW shirt, which is of May, dressed as Tony from Revolution. Storm lets May know that she'll get a percentage of all sales, hitting the home line of chins up, tits out, and before Mariah finishes with saying, "Watch for the shoe." Cool. It was just a segment to push the appearance for Rampage and the Mariah May t-shirt.
It is honestly scary how like Mariah May looks like exactly like Tony Storm wearing that gear.
Yeah. Like it got me at first.
Yeah, like
so then we had
I'm also kind of getting tired of this like Tony Storm gimmick a little bit.
Here's my thing. I haven't liked it at all really, but the video, so I don't know if you've seen this video, but they posted a video from after Revolution in the back with Mariah and Tony. I thought was like one of the best things they've done together all along. To where like Tony's talking about, I beat Deonna Purrazzo, no one else can come at me now. And Mariah's like, Miss Storm. And she's like, what do you want? And she's like, I just want to know how I did. And then Tony's like, you were marvelous, darling. You were great. You can keep the hat and the jacket and the glasses. That's yours now. It's all you. And I thought that was like the best Tony Storm segment in my opinion in this character. I actually really liked it. Because like basically she was endorsing Mariah, saying, Mariah, you did a great job. And she's like, thank you, Miss Storm. And she's like, no. It's Tony. And she's like, oh, Miss Storm. She's like, ah. She's like, oh, Tony. I liked it. I thought it was really good. Basically saying, you're no longer the girl that I just ignore that helps me, but you did so well tonight, I'm going to acknowledge you. So, I thought that was interesting. It was posted on their social media after Revolution. Next up, we had the interview we already talked about with Willow and Renee Paquette. She basically said, oh, it's not on Collision. No, next week, a big business she's taking on Riho, not a Collision, a big business. And then eventually she wants to go after Julia and the TBS title. Then we had Darby Allin basically telling us that he might die climbing Mount Everest. This man almost started crying, saying, next week against Jay White, that could be my final match if I die climbing Mount Everest. So, Tony Schiavone introduces Darby Allin. He literally said it just like that. He's like, let me introduce Darby Allin. I go, you're a pirate. So he comes out with the AEW tag title and a bat. Allin said that it won't be easy. It's 5 years ago, about 40 minutes from this area, he was homeless. And then cut to Sunday, he was main eventing a pay-per-view with Sting in Sting's retirement match. He said we gave Sting the farewell that he deserved. Allin said he is beat up and tired, but after his match next week with Switchblade Jay White, he's going off to climb Mount Everest. Allin said, now I got to speak from the heart because there's no guarantee that I actually come back alive from Mount Everest. And the crowd kind of gave him a gasp. Allin then said, next week, if that is the last match I ever have, I'm going to go out fighting for my life. I want to thank everybody who has supported me, the fans, people backstage, and everything. They're everything to me. He said, then people have also asked me, why am I giving up the tag titles? I can find another partner. I can team with somebody else to keep the titles, but there's nobody else worthy of replacing Sting. You don't just replace Sting. He then puts down the title and says, so with that, new champions will be crowned. Bullet Club Gold's music would then hit, and out would come Switchblade with the guns. He congratulated Darby and said that he wanted to do it face-to-face. He said Allin has sacrificed himself to make sure that Sting retired as champion. White said it was kind of stupid of Allin to crash down off of the ladder like that through the glass, leaving Sting all by himself to fight the Young Bucks. White said that he just heard about it. He didn't watch in the back or anything. He just heard everybody else talking about it and doesn't really care about Darby's match. He said Sting is gone, whatever. Darby, without Sting, is like a puppy lost without somebody to feed him or hold his leash. White said that they don't need to have this match next week, and no one will think any less of Darby if he bails and doesn't want to do it. He's been through so much spiritually, physically, and emotionally. White said that he's capable of doing much worse to Allin and invites him to hang out with them, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and maybe they can even give him a special nickname like Darby Scissorhands. Allin then cuts White off and says, whoa, I won titles all over the world only to come to AEW and play, not to only come to AEW and play with cardboard cutouts. Allin says that he doesn't believe the hype. Instead of White is as good as he really says he is, and come at him next week. White then went to charge, but Allin held the bat to his neck and said, I'll see you next week at Big Business. So yeah, building hype up for that match. What do you think? Are you excited for Darby versus Jay White? Are you excited for Darby to beat Jay White? Because you know Jay White ain't winning.
I mean, it'll definitely be a good match, but yeah, since 2010, there's only been like 72 deaths on Mount Everest.
That's still a big number. 72 deaths out of how many attempts?
And in total, there's only been like 280 deaths.
That's not too bad.
But since 2010, there's only been 72, which is, out of that number, it's still a lot.
Yeah, it just all depends. Because I know, like, from what I've always seen in like documentaries and stuff that I've read about Mount Everest, it's like the elevation change and the lack of good oxygen, the higher up you get and stuff, is not good for you. That's why you have to train so much for it. And some people get about halfway. Some people get a quarter of the way and go, I can't make it no more. I'm going to turn around and go back down. Who knows what Darby's going to do? Darby may want to try to go all the way to the top. Maybe he gets a certain way up and goes, nope, I can't go any farther. I know myself, I climbed Half Dome in Yosemite in 8th grade. And granted, that was a whole thing. They literally made us train for it because it's such a hike to get there. Then the climb itself up, it's not bad, but it's nuts. If you've never seen Yosemite or you've seen Half Dome in Yosemite, it's a nuts thing to do with 8th graders. And every year, my school would take a class, the 8th grade class, to Yosemite to climb Half Dome. No other school would do it. My school was crazy enough to do it.
I wanted to go to Yosemite over the summer, but
Yosemite is awesome. From 5th grade to 8th grade, we would go with the school 2 or 3 times a year camping up there. And then the big one was the end of the 8th grade year, we climb Half Dome. So I've been to Yosemite a bunch. It had to be closed down last weekend because there was so much snow. Like so much snow that it was undrivable conditions, even with chains on your tires. So Julia Hart and Sky Blue are backstage, saying the worst feeling in the world isn't loneliness, it's being forgotten. Willow Nightingale seemed to forget who Hart actually is. She's the queen of the Black Throne. Hart said on Rampage, she's issuing an open challenge to remind everybody who the TBS champion actually is. So is it just a singles match or is the title on the line? If the title's on the line, then what? I don't know.
I could totally see it just being title on the line, though. Just because.
She says, has anyone ever climbed Mount Everest or claimed Mount Everest? Yeah, people have gotten to the top. How many?
I think
people...
there's a record for like one person climbed it to the top multiple times.
Right here. As of December 2023, 6,664 different people have reached the summit of Mount Everest, where a climber has reached the summit more than once. Only their first summit date is listed. So 6,664 different people have made it to the top. Now, some people have done it multiple times, but yeah, almost 7,000 people have reached the top.
Someone named Cami Rita Sherpa has climbed Mount Everest a total of 26 times.
Damn.
I couldn't do that now.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it takes a lot of training and specialized training. When we climbed Half Dome, we just had to do basically cardio training where we had to just make sure that we were up for the hike and everything. So we'd have to run, I think, 3 times a week. Instead of getting a recess, they'd make us go run like 2 or 3 miles.
I think there was a Mount Everest movie that was like made.
There's been
like based on a true story.
I don't
There
know.
was like one that was like really popular. It's based on like the early 2000s, I think.
Let's see. Well, I know there was one. There's Into the Thin Air. There's just Everest that came out in 2015.
That might have been. I think it was
It says,
Everest. Yeah,
Everest is
that was
based
the one
on
I was talking about.
Everest is based on the real events of 1996, the 1996 Mount Everest disaster, and focuses on the survival attempts of two expedition groups. Yeah,
That was the one I was talking about.
I've seen Into the Thin Air. That one's really good. But there's hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but close to like 100 or more documentaries about climbing Mount Everest. House of Black are seen in the back addressing Mark Briscoe, saying that they'll fight fire with fire. Buddy Matthews says that they'll set Briscoe ablaze, while Brody King says that his war with Briscoe brothers have left scars on their bodies that they'll never forget. And Saturday on Collision, history will repeat itself. Malachi Black says that the pain Briscoe feels, they'll make it even worse, and they'll surpass that pain. King then says, let them know if they need to dig one grave or three. Julia Hart caps it off singing Johnny Cash's "And It Burns, 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 the Ring of Fire." So basically, we're getting a 6-man tag on Collision. Renee Paquette is shown with Mark Briscoe, who said he doesn't need any partners. He'll face 3 of them all on his own. He'll face them in an Atlanta street fight. Jay Lethal then walks up and says that he's got Briscoe's back. And Briscoe said not to bring Jeff Jarrett. But Lethal was like, no, we're bringing Jeff Jarrett. So it's a street fight. It's the House of Black versus Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. So, yeah.
I feel like the House of Black is gonna lose.
And Mark, basically, we're supposed to think that Mark doesn't trust Jeff. That's the whole thing. Mark Briscoe doesn't trust Jeff Jarrett.
Do you think House of Black will lose though?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the end of the feud, and the babyface is going to win. Mark Briscoe.
I hate how they're using House of Black right now.
Oh.
Hate it.
Malachi's for sure going back to WWE when his deal's up. Like, for sure.
Apparently, I don't know who reported it. It might have been Meltzer. Someone said that both Malachi and Buddy Matthews are probably going to head back to WWE once their deals are up.
I think multiple people have said that. Sharma Sapp, Meltzer, a few people have said that. It's never said like 100% for sure, but said it's more likely that they go back to WWE than stay with AEW.
Like Malachi Black, he asked for his release like a year ago. He was supposed to get it, but then Tony Khan came back last minute and said, that's it. No one's getting their release.
Basically, yep. Which is weird, but okay. Let's move on to our main. Oh, go for it.
I think he would have gotten it if multiple people didn't ask for it, because I'm pretty sure multiple people kept asking for their release.
Right.
After that. Because I'm pretty sure Andrade asked for it. Someone else did.
I felt like Brian Cage wanted out at one point, and then when his contract was coming up, Tony Khan was like, you got an option year, and we're picking up the option year.
They did that, and once his contract was actually up, they probably offered him a lot of money to stay.
So they let Regal go, though. Now Regal's appearing on NXT TV with his boy. Did you see that?
They added terms. Yeah, they added terms to it, though.
Well, yeah, he couldn't appear for WWE for a year. Now, what is this, the 3rd time we've seen him on TV?
Yeah, I think so. They even got him in 2K24, which is surprising.
That didn't shock me. Because he's back.
Yeah, but they got him as a GM though in My Rise.
Well, and in GM mode. But no, it doesn't shock me though, because he's been back with the company for over a year now. Remember, he came back last February.
No, but like in My Rise though, they have him as like a actual like character in My Rise.
Well, they've been working on that game for a year. Once the last year's 2K game came out, started working on the new 2K game. They had plenty of time. It's all good. I think he's a playable character too. You can be him, because when I did a Royal Rumble the other night, Regal was in the Rumble.
Have you tried My Rise yet?
No, I have not. I've done a little bit of my faction. I've done GM mode, and then I've done a couple of matches. I tried to do online. Like, that was one of the first things I tried to do was an elimination chamber online. And it was so laggy. And then eventually it was like, boop, this match is not going to happen because the host disconnected and lost connection. Everyone is now AI. And it was so, like, delayed and laggy. I haven't tried a match since Monday night online. So then we move on to our main event of the night, Will Ospreay versus the ROH television champion, Kyle Fletcher. They really played this up on how close these two guys are and how well they know each other's moves and every move. If that makes sense. Like their move set and how they use that move set. Don Callis joined commentary as Excalibur questioned putting Ospreay in the main event after his match with Takeshita at Revolution. Callis actually said that Ospreay was only cleared for this match a few hours ago. Callis said that he's a professional, and Taz agrees. There's a fast opening sequence here that led to an Ospreay Hurricane Rana and a hard chop, but Fletcher reversed a corner whip, and Ospreay's bad back caused him to crumble as we go to a commercial break. Ospreay managed to come back during the break and leveled Fletcher with a slingshot dive. Back inside the ring, Fletcher dodged an Oz Cutter into a half-and-half suplex before being leveled in the corner with an enziguri and a brainbuster for a 2. Both men then showed some sportsmanship by shaking hands, but neither let go, and then they went for a chop battle. Fletcher faked a chop and caught Ospreay with a thrust kick. Ospreay answered with a rolling elbow and a hook kick, as Fletcher countered an Oz Cutter into a powerbomb attempt, only for Ospreay to counter into a DDT. Ospreay wanted a hidden blade, but Fletcher dodged into the corner and hit Snake Eyes on the middle buckle. Both rolled into the apron as Fletcher wanted a tombstone, but Ospreay wiggled free and hit the hook kick and an Oz Cutter on the edge of the ring as they went to the final commercial break of the night. Back from the break, both men were trading forearms in the ring until Ospreay switched to some chops and Fletcher crumbled. Callis then said that he feels like a proud older brother watching these two go at it, which Savani said is a much, much older brother. Both men traded tombstone attempts till Ospreay turned it into a wild poison Rana. Fletcher cut off a leap of faith attempt, tried an avalanche dragon suplex, but Ospreay landed on his feet. Fletcher then charged and was planted with a Liger bomb for a 2. Fletcher spun out of a Stormbreaker into a variant and violent butterfly driver, followed by a sit-out last ride for a 2. Fletcher hit a corner kick, tried to go for the top rope brainbuster, but Ospreay slid out and hit a cheeky Nando's before connecting with an avalanche poison Rana and a hidden blade that turned Fletcher inside out, but he kicked out at 2. There were some Kawada kicks from Ospreay, but Fletcher rose to his feet, only to eat another hook kick. Ospreay went over the top as both avoided power bombs and hook kicks until Fletcher hit a thrust kick, but Ospreay hit a Spanish fly and an Oz Cutter, only for Fletcher to kick out yet again. Fletcher got his knees up and told Ospreay, or got to his knees and told Ospreay to put him out of his misery. Ospreay obliged and hit him with a gnarly looking hard hidden blade to pick up the victory. Ospreay and Callis then checked on Fletcher after the match when all of a sudden we hear the music of Bryan Danielson. Danielson makes his way out to the ring. The two have a stare down and the show goes off the air. So they're gonna do it. Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay is coming and coming soon. I don't think they tease it now if it ain't coming soon. Like, when's that pay-per-view? May 21st, I want to say. The Dynasty pay-per-view.
No, Dynasty is April.
Oh, it's April. Okay, I wasn't sure if it. No, yeah, May is Double or Nothing. But do they wait a month and a half to do Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay? Can you wait that long? Teasing it tonight, but with no man saying anything? That's my question.
I mean, could.
I don't know how you keep the interest. Like, yes, people want to see that match. Take my goddamn money. But I don't know if I want to see them go back and forth and tease it for a month and a half. I want to see them do it in like 3 weeks. That's the big thing. I think it's just a smidge too early to start teasing it and to start building it up.
I mean, Tony Khan does tease stuff like pretty early, though.
Right? Actually, he's known for teasing something and then cooling it off and not doing anything with it for like 2 or 3 weeks and then bringing it back. So They could do this and be like, you all thought that's what it was, but it's really this for now, and then it's going to be this in the future. So I don't know. But great main event. What do you think of the match itself? And are you excited for whenever we get Danielson and Ospreay?
Oh, this match was fan-freaking-tastic. Like, great main event. And Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay, that match should be amazing as well.
Yeah. So,
I assume they do it at Dynasty. I mean,
it makes
it's probably the most likely route.
It makes the most sense, but again, I feel like it's just a little too far out to start teasing it.
I wonder what the match card is going to look like for Dynasty. I know it's probably going to be Swerve versus Joe, Danielson versus Ospreay.
So yesterday, Andrew Zarian was asked, what matches do you think we get at Dynasty? And he goes, I can't say. I've seen a preliminary card, and I'll just say you're going to want to buy this show, but I can't say anything right now. Exactly what he said. He said what he has heard is set for this show is worth paying for. So
I'm sure we'll probably get Okada versus somebody.
Oh, yeah. Well, Okada
it's probably going to be Okada versus Kingston.
Probably. Okada and the Bucks are supposed to work Collision. It says the Elite debuts this Saturday is what it said on the graphic.
I'm sure we'll get Okada versus Kingston. The finals of the tag tournament.
Or,
do you think you'll be?
Go for it.
Do you think it'll be Kingston versus Okada for that?
The Continental Crown.
Kingston's belt.
Yeah.
Do you think Okada will win?
Yeah, I think he should. I mean, you're not gonna have him come in challenge for a belt and not win the belt right away. Like, I think he should. So I think FTR wins the tag titles, but what if the Young Bucks win the tag titles and then Okada's got the crown, and so they all got gold, solidifying them as like a little super group. They're like, yeah, we're not just EVPs. We got power because all three of us have championships.
That'd be nuts.
So I can see it. Now, as far as the Twitch poll is live, but as far as what we know for Rampage, Collision, and the next Dynamite, as far as Rampage does go, Julia Hart will issue an open challenge. And I think, let me see. I think they already said who's going to take it up on Twitter. Give me 1 second. I think they already said who she's going to face. She issued the open challenge. And that's weird. Why would you? Oh, okay. I think they said she's going to face Robin Renegade. So Julia Hart versus Robin Renegade for Rampage. Action Andretti will be taking on Penta El Zero Miedo. Private Party will be taking on the team of Top Flight and the team of Commander and Brian Keith. And Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta will be taking on the team of Kip Sabian and The Butcher. As far as Collision this week goes, there's a Atlanta Street Fight. Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett against the House of Black. Chris Jericho will be taking on Teton. Mariah May will be in action. Bryan Danielson will be fighting Shane Taylor and the debut of the Elite. As far as next week's show, AEW Big Business from Boston, Massachusetts. Samoa Joe will defend the AEW World Championship against Wardlow. Switchblade Jay White will be taking on Darby Allin, and Willa Nightingale will take on Riho. And unofficially, that's the debut of Mercedes Moné. So
we'll see how that goes.
Right? Any closing thoughts on tonight's Dynamite?
I mean, we'll see how they use Okada down the line.
It's gonna be interesting.
And who knows when Kenny will be back, so who knows how long they'll play this out.
Right.
I mean, unless Kenny will be back before like All In, they do this match at All In.
So, thinking about it, the way they brought Okada in makes sense. I just don't like that he's a heel with them, because it makes sense. It's, hey, Kenny, you're fired, and we're going to bring in your greatest rival. We're going to replace you with your greatest rival. It makes so much sense, but I just don't think it makes sense to bring him in as a heel right away when you know the crowd wants to cheer for him. We know the crowd wants to be behind Kazuchika Okada.
Honestly, I think Okada should be like AEW's Brock Lesnar, just use him for the big matches.
Their Brock, their Roman, just bring him in when Yeah, don't oversaturate him.
Right. Just only use them for like those like big matches though. Don't like have them
Right.
compete like every single week.
Oh, I totally agree with that. So you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to look at the polls as far as the Threads poll does go. Everybody that voted liked the show. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 66% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 66% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 16% didn't like it. Some of the comments here state, let's give it a few weeks before we get too excited. Lest we not forget who does the booking. First says, I wonder how Okada will fit in with the Elite when Kenny returns. Well, we just said it. He's going to face Kenny because the whole thing is we've kicked out Kenny for his greatest rival. But again, we also don't know when Kenny's coming back. Because Tony said in the press conference on Sunday, yes, Omega is being advertised for the upcoming shows in Canada, but he's not expected. He might make an appearance, but he's not expected to be cleared before then. So Kenny could appear on one of the shows in Canada, but it's unlikely that he wrestles. Someone says this was an awesome watch tonight. Number one says 7 out of 10. First says, I'm assuming we'll see Mercedes make her debut next week. First says, meh. And then another person says, okay. Never mind. That has nothing to do with Dynamite. Of course, the YouTube live poll does go. 81% liked the show. 11% thought it was just all right. And 8% didn't like it. Finally, the Twitch poll. 67% liked the show. 33% thought it was just all right. But that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you back here Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. Have a good one, guys. All right, if you're still watching live,